Hi, Gemini Sun and Rising. Welcome to your October 2023 Astro Update. It's Rena here. So, October is a time when the Sun is in the sign of Libra for most of the month. And for you, this is the fifth house. And that is such a great area of life because it's a house of love and creativity. It's the house of pleasure. So, it's a house of having fun in life. You know, we have the work sector, the sixth house, and the 10th house is career, so that's connected to that. But the fifth house is about hobbies and other things we do, pastimes, they call them. When the sun is here, you are embodying this way of being. This is the house of Leo in astrology. So that big kid energy that Leo gives off, that's how you're operating. So it can be a lot of fun every year to have this come into your life. But also at the time, at the very beginning of the month, you also have Mars there. So there's kind of this passionate attitude. Actually, it's not just attitude, it's actually like taking action in the area of love, or it could be like more like lust, to be honest with you, but also activity with artistic projects. And children are the fifth house too. So if you've been actively trying to conceive or help somebody else conceive, that could be going on. On the 4th, Mercury goes into Libra and joins the rest of the energy and influence here. And that is, creativity in the form of writing, which Geminis might very well do. So this can be great for your writing chops or any kind of theater projects, like if you're an actor, or just somebody who likes to go to open mics on, Tuesday nights or something, that kind of thing. You might be speaking to somebody that you have a crush on. On the 8th, Venus goes into Virgo, so this is one of those angular houses. In this case, we're talking about the 4th house of home and family. This could be something with money that is, like putting money into a house. You had a new moon here not too long ago. Or receiving money from a house is possible as well. Maybe that it's sinking money into a house, painting it, furnishing it, buying new furniture could be it. On the 10th, Pluto turns direct in a late degree of Capricorn, and for you, this is the 8th house. Oh, what a house to have Pluto in altogether. That Pluto is one of the rulers of the 8th house along with Mars. And the truth is that I have a late degree Taurus ascendant, so I had this myself being close to Gemini, and it would, I don't think it was that bad. But now that Pluto is direct, it helps you to sort out issues of power. And I think especially as it pertains to your own more challenging emotions. For some people, this is like the shadow, the 8th house. So Gemini people, unless you have the moon in Scorpio, for instance, or maybe Scorpio rising, something like that, but you tend to be kind of like staying above the fray in life. And sometimes that can make you prefer more superficial circumstances because, heavy emotions, is that fun? No, I don't think so. So it's something that you're not like really wanting to embrace, but maybe you've had to for some reason. You had to kind of look within psychologically and it's sometimes when people go through therapy, and having Pluto in the eighth house might be one of those times when people are like, okay, I'm going to contact a therapist. You're always talking about the influences of other people and what they did to you. And that is perfectly acceptable. But sometimes you have to look at, like, what did I do as a result of that? What choices did I make that I could have made differently? Or what were the assumptions that I made because of their behavior? Um, one time I opened a book and I found a letter from my father that he had written to me when I think I was a teenager at that time. I can't remember. I might have been in my 20s. And when I read that letter, it challenged some of the assumptions I had made about my life and my parents. And it really kind of like unnerved me, because I said to myself, no, I wasn't lying about what I was thinking about this, because I know what I know. But I realized that there's always that kind of editorializing that you do, that you kind of like decide that the way that you're treated means this, that, and the other thing, and you kind of conveniently forget certain things that also happened that were on the positive side. So that kind of deep excavation may have been occurring. Now that Pluto is direct, you might find that the psychological tension eases up and you're able to deal with things in a much more straightforward way. And also as it pertains to money, because it's shared resources is the eighth house, and this is what may be something that you've been even fighting about for some reason, because you've had Pluto here for so long, and it can be power trips and things like that. On the 12th, Mars goes into Scorpio. Mars and Pluto are rulers of Scorpio, in case you didn't know. So there's all this scorpionic influence here. And Scorpio for you is the sixth house of work. And also, this is interesting because it's also the house of health. So with that being said, you may do some kind of exercise routine. And when the sun, not the sun, but in November, when there's a new moon here, that might be when you kick off a new exercise routine. That'll be on November 13th. But so that's like a month from now. I think Mars should be still in that house at that time. But you might do it even earlier than that. You might just feel like you want to exercise. But it can also be the workplace, and Mars can be conflict. And in Scorpio, there can be kind of this intrigue, this kind of behind the scenes, roiling around kind of stuff going on. And if you know that Mars is in this house, and if there are people that are doing things, you can modify your behavior so that you don't just completely get sucked into it, because sometimes these things, people are trying to instigate things and get you to get angry, because then they justify, okay, well, I can fire that person, or I can feel good about the fact that I didn't promote them. Like, if you feel like you're being treated unfairly, if you still maintain your cool, then they can't, accuse you of being hard to manage or whatever. Sometimes those are games that they're trying to get something. On the 14th, we have that solar eclipse at 21 degrees of Libra in that fifth house, and that can give a lot of opportunities in the future for, creative projects. This is a very creative energy. I'm wondering if this could be like what do they call it when it's like twins or triplets, like multiple births? I can't think of the terminology when you have more than one child that you conceive. But also think about starting a business, because that could be the fifth house as well. And you can have all these ideas about doing it, so that even if there is conflict in the workplace, you have a plan B. You have something to fall back on. Never a bad idea, even if you decide to make it like your side gig, but at least you have something else going on. This can be great for love. The possibility for love, let's put it that way, because this is not commitment. This is just meeting people romantically. But this can be very prolific for creative projects in the next few months. Actually 6 months, because you'll have a lunar eclipse here in March, and that could be kind of closing off endings or culminations at that point. On the 22nd, Mercury goes into Scorpio, and that is that 6th house, and the next day the sun goes there. So this is very work-oriented and more serious than when it was in the 5th house, but you might welcome it for whatever reason, feeling that you want to get down to brass tacks. That's what I always say about this area, like organization, discipline, maybe, the work ethic, getting back into that groove. On the 28th, we have a lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus. This is the sign before you. So this can be in the 12th house. This can be letting go of any kind of self-defeating pattern that doesn't serve you, that is keeping you from achieving your goals, keeping you from having the positive relationships that you want, and even the relationship that you have to yourself. This is a hermit's house, contemplation. This can be a spiritual experience. It's a powerful full moon, which is a psychic influence. So all of that can be part of the equation. So this is a great time to let go of bad habits. And actually, it may just kind of be easy to with the lunar eclipse. It's like you don't have to work as hard, which is really amazing if that happens for you. Burning off karma. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double astrology readings, an hour of natal chart analysis with an hour of transits for a sale price, and that is called my deep dive reading. I have that plus a full-length tarot reading called the whole enchilada, and I have standalone readings as well. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks. Bye.